Tokyo, May 1, Xinhua, Tokyo Electric Power Company Holdings Incorporated, TEPCO, used 6 foreign trainees to do construction work at the disaster-hit Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant from last November, breaking company regulations, local media reported Tuesday. TEPCO, operator of the stricken plant and its subcontractors, along with construction firms here, have drawn widespread criticism for allegedly abusing the government's technical intern training program as a means to secure cheap labor for dangerous work. TEPCO said in February last year that it would not allow foreign trainees to work at the nuclear power plant even in areas that were deemed safe and did not require them to wear protective suits or dosimeters. But, according to the utilities subcontractor, it hired 6 foreign interns to work at the plant, which was crippled in 2011 by an earthquake-triggered tsunami, sparking the worst nuclear disaster since Chernobyl in 1986. We deviated from our independent rules on employment. We will make our subcontractors thoroughly check the terms of their contracts, a TEPCO official was quoted as saying. The utility said the foreign trainees were involved in groundwork construction and started working from November last year. The trainees were given no safety education or training on how to safeguard themselves against radiation. In a separate case earlier in the year, it came to light that a number of Vietnamese trainees were found to be involved in cleaning up radioactive waste in Fukushima Prefecture. The intern program, introduced in 1983 with the aim of letting foreign trainees learn technical skills in Japan and utilize them in their home countries, has seen a number of cases of foreign trainees being seriously exploited by their sponsoring companies here. The Justice Ministry said a probe has been launched into the allegation. 6 people enrolled in a foreign trainee program participated in construction work at the disaster-stricken Fukushima No. 1 nuclear plant, despite the plant operator's ban on program participants working at the complex, officials said Tuesday. The case is the latest in a string of inappropriate practices involving foreign trainees under the government's technical intern training program, often criticized as a cover to import cheap labor. Tokyo Electric Power Company Holdings Incorporated had said in February last year that it would not permit foreign trainees to work at the plant, which was crippled by the 2011 quake and tsunami disaster, even though workers in some parts of the plant are not required to wear protective gear or dosimeters. The 6 people were hired by one of TEPCO's subcontractors. We deviated from our independent rules on employment. We will make our subcontractors thoroughly check the terms of their contracts, a TEPCO official said. According to the utility, the foreign trainees took part in groundwork at the plant starting in November last year outside the areas where protective measures against radiation are needed. The trainees had not received any training on how to protect themselves from radiation. The foreign trainee program was introduced in 1993 with the aim of transferring skills to developing countries. But the scheme, which is applicable to agriculture and manufacturing, among other sectors, has drawn criticism as a number of harsh and exploitative cases have been reported. As of the end of 2017, Japan had received a total of about 270,000 foreigners under the training program. By nationality, Vietnamese accounted for the largest proportion of the total, followed by Chinese and Filipinos. Earlier in the year, several Vietnamese trainees hired by construction companies in Koriyama, Fukushima Prefecture, and Morioka, Iwate Prefecture, were found to have engaged in radioactive contamination cleanup work in Fukushima. The Justice Ministry was conducting a probe into the company's hiring trainees, saying that decontamination work does not fit the purpose of the trainee program. Fukushima, the Environment Ministry plans to use radiation-tainted soil to build roads in Fukushima Prefecture, starting with trials in the city of Nonmatsu next month. But in the face of fierce protests from safety-minded residents, the ministry is struggling to advance the plan. "Don't scatter contaminated soil on roads," one resident yelled during a Thursday briefing by Environment Ministry officials in Nonmatsu. The officials repeatedly tried to soothe them with safety assurances, but to no avail. "Ensuring safety is different from having the public feeling at ease," said Bunsaku Takamiya, a 62-year-old farmer who lives near a road targeted for the plan. He claims the project will produce groundless rumors that nearby farm produces unsafe. 7 years after the March 2011 core meltdowns at the Fukushima No. 1 nuclear plant, Takamiya has finally been able to ship his produce in Fukushima without worry. Then the ministry's soil plant surfaced. A woman in the neighborhood agrees. "The nature and air here are assets for the residents. I don't want them to take it away from us," she said. Under the plan, tainted soil will be buried under a 200-meter stretch of road in the city. The soil, packed in black plastic bags, has been sitting in temporary storage. The plan is to take about 500 meters of the soil, bury it under the road at a depth of 50 centimeters or more, cover it with clean soil to block radiation, and pave over it with asphalt. The ministry intends to take measurements for the project in May. Fukushima is estimated to have collected about 22 million meters of tainted soil at most. The ministry plans to put it in temporary storage before transporting it to a final disposal site outside the prefecture. The idea is to reduce the amount. The ministry thus intends to use soil with cesium emitting a maximum of 8,000 becquerels per kilogram.